This week on Convincing Idiots, you've come to the right place if you want to talk about possums eating chocolate cake, much like we eat chocolate cake. We get into the Captain America Brave New World, our opinions on that. What do we think? We get into Saturday Night Live. What makes the best sketches of Saturday Night Live? What makes Saturday Night Live so great after 50 years? And then we continue the conversation with Saturday Night Live with our Mt Rushmore of Saturday Night Live skits. All of that, so much more. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's start the show.
You guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
Welcome to the podcast, welcome to the vodcast, welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Zennial.
I'm Brian, Gen X.
And the silence you heard just there is Nicholas. Nicholas is Nicholas, and he will be maybe joining us later. He's getting a mani-pedi. Him and the dog got a dual one together. So, you got to have priorities. If Ernie and I were going to go and get our nails done, I probably would miss the show too. So,
well, the one has like very small things to work with, very delicate, have to be very dainty.
Yep. And
also you have to be careful with the dog as well.
Correct. Yes. That is very true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I hear they're all both getting their tails trimmed up too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, Brian, it's just you and I.
Yet again.
How have you been, brother? How's this week treating you?
Okay. You know what? Before I get into that further, when we do Nick's job, because we always forget to do that when he's not here.
Yeah.
That's all right. So we'll do that first, real quick. So, who the hell we are is we're the Convincing Idiots podcast. We're friends from different generations, talking all things nerd and pop culture each and every week. At least Dean and I do that. For the most part.
That's right.
Yeah. We can be found where we listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Overcast. Just simply find the Convincing Idiots podcast. Give us a free follow or subscribe, and we'll pop into your podcast feed each and every week, free of charge.
Your mother's cast, your sister's cast.
Sure. We'll pop in there frequently, maybe more frequently than once a week.
That's right.
Yeah. Give us a rate review where you can, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. Helps others find the show. You might be watching us on our YouTube channel at Convincing Idiots, or the YouTube Music channel where you can listen or watch on YouTube Music. All show information can be found at two main spots. Just simply Google Linktree to find our Linktree page. It's simply a page that links to our stuff. And go to one place, go to our website, convincingidiots.wordpress.com. All show information is there, bios, links to new episodes, videos, merch store, other ways to sponsor the show. If you do anything at all, tell a friend, help them find us, help them give us a follow or subscribe as well. And we appreciate your support. That's right.
Subscribe on your friends' phones. Steal your parents' phones, your grandparents' phones, your great-grandparents, your great-great-great-grandparents' phones. Steal that too, and subscribe for us.
That's right. Yep, on the old flip phone or whatever's got to happen.
One of them's got to have figure it out. I know it's like a rotary, or maybe the one that you put up your area in the Andy Griffith style, but figure it out. Subscribe.
That's right. great. So yeah, so my week is going. It's busy, man. I mean, this whole week just been busy at work. Last
That's
weekend
dumb.
though, yeah, it is dumb. It's okay. I mean, it's good busy, I guess you could say. I don't know. We're just very, very, collections and this and that and the other, and it's just a lot going on for the company. The company's looking to grow, which is a good thing. So, um, you know, it's all good. Last weekend though was a Valentine's Day weekend, as we know, and Allie and I did feel. I'm sorry for my voice again, everybody. So I'm still fighting this congestion. This stuff has been lingering for quite a while. So excuse my voice again. I'll try not to cough in the mic here. But we did feel well enough last Saturday to get out for a nice dinner. Allie and I. First time we tried the Alesha's Richfield Tavern in Richfield, Ohio, where the Cleveland Cavaliers used to play many years ago. But very good. It took reservations. They have like European flair. It's like an historic old building. Beautiful place, great service, fairly reasonably priced. We had a Czechoslovakian beer. We had a European platter with like authentic pierogies and stuffed cabbage and sauerkraut and kielbasa. It was very, very good. And then went down the street to the brand new Richfield Brewing Company, which is now on the local Summit County Brew Path. Beautiful new building, decent beer, and the menu looks great. Now, we didn't eat there since we just had dinner, but it's definitely a place to go back and check out. So a wonderful Valentine's weekend evening was had, so enjoyed that. So how about you, sir? How were you? How was your Valentine's weekend,
Valentine's
sir?
Day was quite well.
Good.
We cooked dinner. We sat and sat around and held hands, stared into each other's eyes. She fell in love madly in
Course,
love again
of
and
course.
again and
Mm-hmm.
again. Can't
Of
help it. I
course.
mean, I look like this, so
Mm-hmm.
no. Valentine's Day was actually really nice. She Megan cooked a steak, first time cooking a steak, and she did marvelous. That shit
Good.
was so good. Put some like had this butter like mixed with the like chives and shit like that. Put it on
Very
top,
good. Yeah.
and so good. So yeah, Valentine's Day was good. Let's see. My father had a birthday, and so we went out
Mm-hmm.
to his birthday at a Golden Corral.
Also fine dining experience.
Fine dining.
Mhm.
All of the cloth napkins all around. Christ, I haven't been to a Golden Corral in so many years, and it was exactly what
Mhm.
I remembered it.
Mhm.
Just the best of humanity.
Oh yeah.
You and I were talking before we started recording and talking about how we need to get to the gym. You won't feel that like you could either go to the gym, Brian, or you could go to a Golden Corral and look around.
Just
And
feel better
by,
about yourself. Yeah.
exactly. By perspective, you're going to feel better, and you'll be like, you know
Mm.
what? I'm not doing too bad.
Mm.
I'm not doing too bad.
Yeah.
So yes, happy birthday to my father. 78 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, on the 14th. And what else did I do? I can't read my handwriting, so the one thing that I did do, I don't remember. So
I know we did. We saw each other on the weekend as well. We went to see the new Captain America movie on Sunday.
that's exactly
You know,
it. There we go.
and we'll talk about that. I even wear my damn Captain America shirt and
There
hat,
you go.
you know.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So we'll talk about that in our reviews. That was a nice afternoon. Went to a couple beers at Hi-Ho Brewing Company in Cuyahoga Falls.
Yep, that's right. That's right. That
Mr.
was
Jeff and Mr. John and John's son and the lovely Megan joined us. That was a nice afternoon.
yes. That was very nice. I enjoyed that, and
Mhm.
we'll review that here in a minute.
Mhm.
One last thing, I got a fun little story for you, right?
Mhm.
So we're sitting around, and because we have the question of the week here on the show, I also ask a question of the night at the dinner table.
Okay.
So my question of the night the other night, it was Megan, myself, and the kids, and the youngest Nora. She's 10 years old, and the question was, what would you name yourself Well, and earlier in that we were talking about because we had stir fry and they had like the little mini corns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I made a joke about eating the little corns, dad jokes like that, right? So we're sitting there talking about what we'd name ourselves, and everybody's kind of just talking at the same time. And she out of nowhere, she goes, "I would name myself Cock." And everybody looks around. It just breaks up. Carter, my 13-year-old, falls back laughing. Tears are coming out of my face onto my phone as I'm laughing. Megan's broken up, and she's so innocent. She has no clue why we're laughing. She doesn't know. And we proceeded to ask her, what does it mean? And in her mind, she would name herself Corn on the Cob, COC, Corn on the Cob. And she was trying to be clever and say she would name herself Cock.
Well, at least she said the joke at home, so that's good.
Actually, we had to have that conversation about what you actually said. So it'd be silly just to go, "Don't say that word. What does it mean?" No, don't worry about it. So we explained it, and you're like, "Yeah, you know what? You don't want to go ahead and use those words at school and whatnot, and and you definitely weren't in trouble." Apparently, of course, you didn't even know what you'd said, but let's hear the 10-year-old girl say that I would name myself Cock. Oh, it was a dog name. She was saying she would name the dog Cock. Okay. Yes,
there you go.
It was the dog. My producer informed me here. So. Yeah, but it's so funny. So that was a fun little dinner. Yeah. So we get together for dinner time. I ask them a question. Everybody kind of banters. Kind of just gives us something to talk about rather than just stare at our food in silence. So
that's good. I like that.
Yeah. So that's about anything I've been up to. But real quick, Brian, what are you drinking?
I am having another, as I had last week as well. Southern Tier Irish Cream Stout from the Southern Tier Brewing Company in Columbus, Ohio. It's a sweeter stout. It's so delicious, like a vanilla bean hint to it.
All right, I like that.
Very, very good. So highly recommended. You can find that in your local store. Grab yourself a 6 and enjoy that for the St. Patrick's season for sure.
Absolutely.
How about you?
We are Half Nelson from Magic City Brewing Company.
Very good.
It's an IPA. Half Nelson, a saison, and whatever other words I can't read because I don't have my glasses on. IPA.
Is that the Macho Man on the can?
Yep, Macho Man Randy Savage on the can.
Nice.
It's quite delicious. So
you guys went there after the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
We did.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sir, I want to get into some idiot reviews. Certainly, we saw the movie. You don't have to start there if you don't want to, but wherever you want to start, go right ahead.
All right. I'm still watching the two shows that I'm watching. I mentioned because, goddammit, they're really good. They're really getting into their own. First of all, School Spirits you can find the first season on Netflix, and then it's naturally on. It's a Paramount Plus show, but the first season is on Netflix, and it's in its second season on Paramount Plus. Okay. I highly recommend that one. That's very good. It was a lot more than I thought it was going to end up being. About a girl who dies in her school, and she has to solve her own murder.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to explain it. And then what else? Oh, Paradise on Hulu. It's a thriller. You find out that the president ultimately gets killed, and the Secret Service agent has to figure out who did it. And one of those things where every time they unravel something, you find out it's bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's really good show I'm watching. So highly recommend that. And let's see. Saturday Night Live 50. We'll actually go through that in a little bit here.
Yep.
But so let's go ahead and let's touch on Captain America: Brave New World. We all went to see it Saturday or Sunday.
Sure. Go ahead. What'd you think?
My review is I liked it. I thought it was a solid kind of action adventure movie, spy type movie. Was it the best Marvel movie they made? No. Did it advance the plot to the MCU itself? Not really. I mean, they brought up Animanium, so that's going to be kind of going forward being the new thing in the MCU. Other than that, it didn't really advance the plot, but it didn't need to. I thought it was just a good, solid movie. Anthony Mackie is always fantastic. I love him in the role as Captain America now. Yeah. Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford, and you get to see Harrison Ford as a fucking Hulk. Take my money, and they did. So I definitely recommend it. Again, could you get away with when it comes on to Disney Plus rather than seeing it in theaters? I always recommend anybody going to see anything in the theaters. But if you didn't get to this one right away, you were busy, you can catch it on the streaming. So.
Yeah, I'm with you there. We agree on a lot of that. I mean, the flying scenes of the Falcon when he's through the with the aerial attack. I mean, that was pretty cool to see on the big screen. Just good action, great special effects, and like you said, I do like Anthony Mackie in general, and I do like him in that role. I mean, I do like it is nice to see the messaging of anybody can be Captain America. It's not just one man. One man. Right. It's what Captain America represents and everything. And that's the bigger meaning behind it. So they really kind of hit on that a little bit. Took a couple odd directions with a couple characters.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that there was some rewrites and some things were edited where they probably shouldn't have been, or something else probably should have been in its place. It was a little clunky at some places, probably because of that.
Yeah, some of the characters in there that really wasn't necessary. That they try, like the Sidewinder character was okay, but really not necessary for the plot. At the end of the day, I don't know if the main villain was really revealed in the trailers and stuff, so we won't reveal that and spoil it. But it was good to see a character get further developed. That is a pretty cool villain in the Marvel universe. We'll kind of leave it there.
Yep.
They definitely certainly get the Hulk storyline. They reinvigorate that a little bit with the Red Hulk and stuff. So. That was pretty good. So it kind of sets up maybe, more Hulk storylines and stuff. The Hulk definitely has some interesting storylines they haven't really tapped into all that much, certainly in a standalone movie and sometimes. So maybe they'll set that up. But, again, I see some of these terrible reviews, and I don't agree with that. So I think we're definitely aligned there. So what I saw was like Rotten Tomatoes was one of the worst. Amongst the worst, but then the audience score was pretty good.
Pretty goddamn good. It was just the critics and the critics.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's critics out there that surprisingly probably wouldn't like this show. So fuck.
Yeah. Well, with us, we have a low critic score and also a fairly low audience score, but that at least we're consistent. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, so don't listen to the reviews. If you like Marvel movies, you like Anthony Mackie, you like Captain America, you just like a decent comic book movie, you'll enjoy it.
I suggest, like I've said before, I just suggest everybody go see anything in the theater. If you want to see it, wait till it. No, fuck it. Go, don't wait. Go see it in the theater. Support that shit.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see things on that big of a fucking screen. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And beyond that, for me, did you watch anything else before we get
Nope,
into?
nope.
Okay.
I ended there, so we can kind of veer off to you, my friend.
Yeah, just real quick here. There's an interesting documentary on Disney Plus on the National Geographic section. It's a National Geographic documentary on UFOs. So it's UFO investigating the unknown. There's 2
Speaking
seasons of
my
that.
language.
Yeah, it's very good, very interesting. Kind of gives you the storyline of how some folks were really trying to get the government to be honest and about UFOs, not because they're saying there were alien races or anything like that. Just more of a, if there's stuff in our skies that we don't know what they are, it's a safety issue for pilots and everything else. So it's time to take it serious, and how that kind of many years later finally evolved to
Government
you know
itself is making it dangerous enough for in the skies, for every.
yeah,
We
you
don't
got
need
that
it
right with
to do it.
actual airplanes.
Hmm.
But to show that whole progression of how the government's finally being more open a little bit and having hearings and stuff, and acknowledging that there are things in the air that we don't know what they are. They're not saying they're alien spacecraft, but they're just our unknown uh, things in the sky that they have to pay more attention to and understand what they are. But it's pretty cool. And I just started watching
Maybe we need
Paramount.
to get with everything happening in the skies and a little more. I think we might be for a physicist Tim drop in here
Yeah.
sooner than later.
I'll definitely get astrophysicist Tim on very soon. I'm sure he'd enjoy something to do in his retirement again. So yeah, we'll reach out to him very soon, get him on for sure. Always enjoyable time with him. For the first time in my adult life, a few weeks ago, I started to watch Star Trek, the original series. I'd never sat down
Okay.
as an adult, never watched, and not against it.
Sure.
Just one of those shows like I've been meaning to do it, and it was a perfect time. It was like a Saturday morning, like coffee, like hanging out, brunch, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna find it right now and put it on. All episodes are on Paramount Plus. All the Star Trek stuff, everything.
Okay.
All the
I
TV
think it'd be neat to
shows.
do that.
Absolutely, the animated show, the whole bit. I'm just like I'm starting with the original series, episode 1, the pilot episode, and now I'm working through season 1. And you know what? It's good, very good, very good stuff. I mean, the storylines are interesting. It's got some good dialogue. Have you watched these?
It's one of those same as you. As they've been on, I know I've seen an episode here and there, but I never sat down and watched them. Hell, it's only three seasons, right?
Yeah, the originals. It's only like 3 seasons. The original series. Yep. But it's just good. I mean, the effects are okay for the time. It's a mid '60s, but they got some heavy topics, and it's good. It makes you think.
Yep.
Makes you think. The episode I just watched, it had it was like a teleporter error, and it's separated. I mean, it's whatever the storylines are. It's already you're already setting yourself aside, like you're just going to enjoy it,
Right.
But Kirk's evil self was separated from his good self.
I remember that.
So you had two Kirks running around.
Himself or some shit, wasn't it?
He did that, but the whole storyline was, though, when he lost his evil self, he learned that he was having trouble commanding. He was having trouble making decisions because the premise was basically everyone needs both sides of themselves. That's what makes one a human being. But how you control the evil self that's what makes you who you are. It's a whole thing to make you think.
I get what they're saying,
good.
but I've got only an evil side, so I kind of disagree with that premise.
Yeah, somewhere around Wadsworth, there's a good duplicate of Dean just running around there being nice.
I just let him off, and he's out there fucking holding doors for people.
Yep, is letting people finish sentences.
All
that stuff. And then Allie and I watched the movie A Real Pain on Hulu. This is Jesse Eisenberg. Did I mention this last week? I don't think I did. But...
No, you mentioned it to me when we were at the bar.
Okay, so Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin, Kieran Culkin, excuse me. It's okay. It wasn't. I thought it was. We thought it'd be more of a dark comedy type thing, and it definitely had a couple of funny parts in it. But it was more of a serious movie. These guys are cousins in different walks of life, and they decide to travel to Poland and visit their grandmother who just passed away, her family home, and just have a whole little pilgrimage and do a tour. They're Jewish in the movie, so it's like a Jewish tour of Poland. They see a concentration camp and different things. So just learning about these two guys in two walks of life and their background. One guy thinks he is not as successful as the other, and you kind of learn that maybe he's more successful than he really thinks he is because he has a good home life and everything. Anyways, hour and a half. It's a decent movie. I think it won at least a Golden Globe Award. So if you like Jesse Eisenberg, he wrote and directed it, I believe. I feel like Kieran Culkin. He's very, very good in this. So it's an easy watch. Check it out. And then, as you mentioned, SNL 50, and we'll talk more about that later. I did watch also the concert, the SNL concert that was on last Friday. You can also find that on Peacock on demand.
Okay. Yeah.
About a 3-hour thing. I tell you what, that is good. Check that out. They kind of work in a couple skits that are music themed. Like Bill Murray comes on and reprises The Lounge Singer, for example.
Nice.
Will Ferrell and Anna Gasteyer do the middle school music teacher. They kind of sing modern songs in the crazy way and stuff. It's very funny they did. So they kind of pepper that stuff in a little bit. But, I mean, Devo was on there. Pearl, the guy from Pearl Jam is on there. Post Malone comes out and sings with Nirvana, the original guys.
I've seen that
Nirvana.
Clip. Yeah,
super good. It kind of sets up maybe a tour possibly, but
that'd be cool.
Very solid. So a lot of great artists and all different types of music. So check out the SNL concert from Valentine's Day. You'll definitely enjoy that.
Nice.
That's it. That is it.
You're talking about the evil and the good in people.
Yes.
There is one man out there in this world. Not only he does not have an evil bone in his body, he is purely a good man, and a good man at saving you money.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, let me tell you about this. The Blake Insurance Group is an independent agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio, offering personal care and support for all your insurance needs. If you need auto, home, business, or even life insurance, we all need it, Brian. Death comes for all of us.
That's right.
Give Aaron a call. He'll treat you with honesty, respect, and the care you deserve. You want to call Blake Insurance Group at 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free 5-minute quote today. When you do, of course, tell them that the idiots sent you.
Wonderful. Dee's working on the read.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you spent 4 years with it's fucking based in your memory.
That's right.
Now I got to freebase something else.
Well, we're going to do that, and then we're going to come back with some pop culture headlines and our Ask an Idiot question of the week. Are we going to see young Nick? Probably not, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
You got old us, so we're good.
That's right. Two old guys better than one young guy every day of the week.
That's right.
Yep, that's right. We'll be right back after this.
Gen X Brian here from the Convincing Idiots podcast. If you're enjoying our show, tell a friend. And if you're not, well, tell 2 enemies.
Three.
All right, welcome back to Convincing Idiots, segment 2.
Hello.
One episode from 2:30.
Wow. Look at us.
Yep.
Big time. Big time.
That's right. I hear you hit it big at right around episode 233. I hear is where most
Actually,
podcasts just take off.
the stride is considered 233 and a half.
Yeah. Yep.
And then it's all downhill. So you get like a 2-minute peak, and then you just start. It's kind of David, it peaks in where it starts getting lighter earlier,
Yep.
and then it gets the longest day, and then it just keeps going downhill. Same thing.
The 233 is like the summer solstice, sort of.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
Well,
We're
I
going to
guess
peak
we'll
at
see.
233 and a half, and then it's going to go downhill.
I guess we'll see. It's a little bit longer to find out.
That's right.
I don't recall ever having a story about an opossum, but we get one tonight.
I live for him.
I just thought it was a very cute story, and with the news just filled with so much fucking political shit and what the president's doing every 2 seconds. It's really nutty right now, and it's not a political show, but we have our own views on all that crap. But a family in Nebraska, this is on Valentine's Day. This happened, I guess. They put some food out on the porch to save room in the fridge during the cold weather, so they had put some dessert items out there on the porch. You never had an animal on the porch ever, and a kid went out there to get something, and they found a possum laying on their furniture, the porch furniture, and he determined that she had eaten an entire Costco chocolate cake.
Wow.
And was just sitting there kind of recovering and panting and wasn't moving.
That's isn't that how you found me the other day?
Yeah, on my front porch, just panting with a clearly whole-eaten sheet cake.
That's right. That's right.
From Giant Eagle. Yeah, just sitting out there, remnants. Had to bring it inside, calm me down. Yeah. Not the first time it's happened, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope. Won't be the last.
Nope. I just wish you would have pants on, though. You know what I mean? The neighbors get a little.
Wish you wouldn't tell me what to do.
So they took they realized that probably something was wrong with they took her to an animal care place, and she's okay and recovering and everything else. But they had more than 13,000 people reacted to the post that the animal shelter posted up there. So she's okay, and a lot of people are kind of relating in a funny way to the possum, like, hey, we've all been there, girl, and I know how you feel and everything else, and she's my spirit animal and everything. So she's okay, recovering. I just thought it was a cute story. You could find it. You could just probably look up opossum chocolate cake or Costco possum or something like that, and
I have an opossum in the backyard here.
Mm-hmm. We'll give her a chocolate cake.
I will. Oh, she's a big bastard too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have you ever seen one in like real life?
They're startling big animals. They're odd, so they can scare you, but they're friendly. But they can startle you. That's for sure.
When they look at you in the eyes, like I looked at one. I think there's two, like a husband and wife type fucking situation, and the one would just scurry away and stop. But the one, it was like last summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of comes out of the shadows. And I'm standing on the steps of my back by my door, and I'm having a cigarette, watching him, and then I'm like, "Get out of here! Go shoo!" And instead, this thing just starts running towards me.
Oh yeah, that's like they're fed. They'll hiss at you and run at you and scare you.
And then I just fucking tossed a cigarette, screeched like a fucking eagle, and ran inside as quick as I could. It won.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they can scare you. They're good animals to have around. They eat a lot of pests. They eat tons of ticks they'll eat. So if they're around your area, they are good to have around. But
as long as they scurry when I come out and stay their distance. I got skunks back there. I got opossums. I've got skunks. I've got a fox that comes around. I've had a band of fucking chickens. Man, I don't know what the fuck's going on back there. And with a herd of cats roaming around too, which I don't mind. Again, all of them's fine as long as you don't spray me, bite me, or any of that shit. just kind of you be back there and do your thing. Just leave me the fuck alone. Let me go back there, have my smoke, and leave me the fuck alone.
There you go.
That's actually I require that of all living creatures.
Sure.
On this earth.
Yeah, you've been known to hiss and run at people in your time as well.
That's you got to respect my privacy.
Sure. Do you buy into like these soft drinks that try to infuse with quote unquote healthy things like like there's a prebiotic soda bandwagon. So it's like it's supposed to be good for your digestive system and stuff like that. So there's different sodas that have this. Is that something you buy into, or is it just a bunch of shit and you're still drinking garbage? Yeah.
You're just drinking garbage. You're just you're dipping the strawberry in chocolate.
Yeah.
You're taking the probiotic idea or whatever and then putting it in soda. It's do the natural fucking probiotic shit. There's fruits and vegetables that do that for you.
Right. Well, Coca-Cola is going to get into the prebiotic soda bandwagon, being driven by brands like Poppy and Olipop, which I don't know either one of those. So
I've seen them in the grocery stores.
Simply Pop is going to be the Coca-Cola version of that. It's going to come in 12-ounce cans. That will include 25 to 30% fruit juice from concentrate with no added sugar, strawberry, pineapple, mango, fruit punch, lime, and citrus punch. So they're going to call it their fruit forward line of sodas.
Why? So just fucking put your Coca-Cola. You could put anything in a goddamn can. Why don't you just put fruit juice? That's a wild fucking concept, isn't it?
That's it.
Dolts.
Yeah, so it's let's see here. Consumers have taken issue with health claims of prebiotic sodas. Right. A California woman filed a class action complaint against Poppy last June, accusing it of false advertising because of prebiotic functionality. The suit claimed that Poppy's 2 grams of fiber per soda is an amount too low to cause meaningful gut health benefits for someone who drinks just 1 can. So I'm not getting healthy drinking soda. It's one of the most ridiculous lawsuits I've heard.
I'm amazed and angered.
Yep. All these people just, want to fucking cut corners. Right. I'm going to drink soda pop and have some health benefits from it. I mean, it just seems, I don't get it.
I don't get it. At least just own up to your shit, right? Brian, do you know why I'm fat? Because I really like fucking beer.
Mm.
And, once you admit that, now you could, what? Admitting's half the battle, right?
Yeah, we should be able to drink Mick Ultra and get thin because we're drinking light beer.
I drank a Mick Ultra the other day. Looked down, no abs. I was so pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Just false advertisement, I'd say.
That's right. That's right. That's why I thought, Jeff gets his pecs. You know what I'm saying? Just drinking Mick Ultra.
That's right, all the time.
Yeah.
And they just pop up there.
Yeah, I don't know. So just how about put the pop down and go fucking do it the natural way, like you said, Dean. Get some actual fiber in your body with using real food. This story is if there's one story I've seen recently that tells you where the world is a little bit, is this one here. So a lucky teacher received a Valentine's gift from a student, a very expensive gift. It wasn't apples. Any idea what the student may have gotten his teacher, which is hard to come by these days at the grocery store?
VD on VD?
No, not quite. A carton of eggs to show appreciation for his teacher. So and she was very thrilled to.
She an
get
old
such a-
teacher. Did he get it to her because all of her eggs were dried up?
I don't think it was those type of eggs.
Oh,
I think these are just like standard chicken eggs, since they're very hard to
my
come
mistake.
by, harder to come by, and at least certainly very expensive at the very least if you can find them. So, yeah. So this teacher wrote, students are the best. I wish one would give me. I've gotten an onion and a potato. Eggs would make a nice breakfast. So if you're looking for some form of appreciation out there, kids,
Yeah.
for your teachers, forget the apples, forget the flowers, whatever it is. Get her or him a nice dozen eggs, and I'm sure it'll be very appreciated on a teacher's salary.
Well, not cigarettes too.
Sure.
Like a carton of cigarettes. So when she fucks you and then goes to jail for it, she'll have something to trade for, while she's in the clink.
Sure. There you go. Another fine suggestion. Well, we both watched the SNL 50th anniversary last week, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
3.5 hours. It was NBC's most watched primetime entertainment telecast in 5 years, reaching nearly 15 million viewers. Only for NBC, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade had a bigger viewership draw in recent years, NBA said on Monday. So a lot of folks are in this, cast members past and present, some musical guests that were fun. So I'm just going to get into our well, first of all, what'd you think? And then we'll get into our Ask an Idiot question here whenever you want to work into it here. What would you have liked to have seen? So if it didn't quite meet your expectations, or even if it did, what would exceed your expectations or even meet your expectations if it fell below? Who did you want to see? What did you want to see in an SNL 50th anniversary special? Go ahead, D.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was fine. There was some not even like past cast members, but like some guest hosts from the past that I would like to have seen. I always like to see John Goodman, and I know he's done it quite a few times throughout the years.
Yes.
I would have liked to have seen Will Ferrell could have made it like he did the one skit with Eddie Murphy.
Yep, the prison joke.
Yeah, that
he did Wayne, not Wayne Newton. He did the singer, not Wayne Newton, but it was. It was the old singer guy. Yeah. Yeah,
I could have used a little more Will Ferrell, right? I know. I think everything else was placed quite well for what it was. I liked Adam Sandler doing the song bit. That was a good song. It was. Yeah. It was timely. It was exactly what that's in his wheelhouse. You know what I mean? He was not. Mm-hmm. I don't care what you fucking say about the Cantina boy. He wasn't a skit guy, right? So everything else I enjoyed. I really liked the Tina Fey and Amy Poehler questionnaire in the audience. Mm-hmm. That was fun. Mm-hmm. That was I think that was probably my highlight for me was that skit there. Because it kind of got a bunch of celebrities, they got to join in the fun. Although, did you see Kevin Costner and Jenna Ortega? Mm-hmm. How fucking awkward they felt, like just the look in their face. If they were acting, I mean, granted, yes, I understand that both of them are fine actors, but like that really looked like they were annoyed and confused at what was happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the guys singing on either side of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will Forte. No, was it Will Forte, right?
Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It wasn't a lot of I wish this or wish that. I thought they did well. I'm sure if I thought really hard, I could probably point out, they could have done this better, that better, but heck, it's hard to crank 50 years into even an hour, 3.5 hour show or whatever.
Yeah.
That's hard to do. So I think it was well done. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, we watched the whole thing. We did enjoy it for the most part. I would have really liked to have seen, more from the original cast who were there.
Yeah.
Just take a moment and just bring them all on the stage by themselves. I mean, Chevy Chase was in the audience. I did like the fact that they had Garrett Morris do an introduction to something.
Yeah.
I like to see Lorraine Newman with an extended skit there with
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. Sorry,
Yeah,
thank you.
That was fun.
Jane Curtin was there, but she really didn't do
Dan
anything.
Aykroyd was at the concert, but I guess he had a prior commitment during the show, so he wasn't at the show from what my understanding.
He was not there. That's right. Yeah, just take a minute and bring them up there.
Yeah.
It would have been very hard to do. Maybe they could have filmed it and strung it together or something like that. But I think it would have been interesting to have, the different, even just a video montage. We're going to recognize, here's the cast of the 70s. Here's the cast of the 80s who's there.
Sure.
That type of thing. Because a lot of them were there. Just have them, bring them all together, get a picture, do something quick. That would have been kind of cool. And then it was a clever thing to do like the whole memoriam of like bad moments of bad characters and stereotypes. That was interesting. But I would have also liked to see an actual, serious in memoriam of some of the cast members that we've lost over the years. I mean, a lot of them, but some people don't. But that would have been kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you said, it's really hard to pack it all in there. It would have been nice to see. I thought for sure on the weekly, the news section there, that have. I was surprised they didn't have like Chevy Chase up there. Maybe some of the other anchors as well.
Right.
That
I would have done. I didn't need to see Drunk Uncle. I hate that fucking skit.
Yeah.
I would much have rather seen all of the different anchors do something all together or somehow, some way.
Right. I mean, they had Seth Meyers up there, so that was cool, reprising some of that stuff. But yeah, have Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and Chevy Chase, everybody that's done the news that was in the that would have been kind of interesting. Jimmy Fallon, yeah, absolutely, with Tina Fey as well. So I don't know.
Yep. Kevin Nealon still alive.
That's right. He was there.
Still alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Colin Quinn.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I would like to have heard something from Lorne Michaels, but maybe that's not his thing. Maybe that's just not what he wants to do.
I actually thought they were going to end it that way and have him say something rather than just stand there.
Yeah.
But,
not a word from him. But again, maybe that's his thing. Maybe he just doesn't want to. He's not comfortable with it. Maybe it's just sort of.
But he's done it in the past. He's talked on camera before.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, what they did was okay.
Yeah.
But like you said, more recognition of some of the cast members, I guess, specifically would have been nice. But again, overall, worth a watch. Do you agree? If you're a fan,
it worked. I agree. It worked.
Yeah. Meryl Streep was great, and then certainly to see Paul McCartney wrap it up at the end. I mean, you can't have much more of a living legend, get up on stage and perform, and it was nice to see Paul Simon get up there as well. Yeah, that was
absolutely
cool. So anyway, all right. Well, we're going to take a break, Dean, come back with our main topic, and it being that this is a SNL 50th anniversary, we're going to have a SNL main topic, and we'll tell you all about that right after this.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2.
And we're back for segment 3 of episode 229 of Convincing Idiots. Brian, Gen X, and Zennial Dean here for your main event.
Mm-hmm.
And for the main event, Brian, why don't you tell the listeners at home what we have in store for them?
Well, again, we're talking about Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary, and we've talked about favorite SNL characters and different topics in the past. But this week, we're going to talk about our personal idiot Mount Rushmore favorite skits of all time. The list is, numerous. I mean, we could probably be here all evening talking about skits we enjoy.
I'm sure we'll forget some too.
Of course. But just our top five. Why five? Because we're idiots on a Mount Rushmore. We don't have four, we have five. So we're going to give you our top five in no particular order necessarily, and then probably some honorable mentions and why we enjoy that particular skit. Probably have a couple overlaps, maybe not, since the list is so big.
Fast.
But yes. So why don't we start with you then, Dean? So give me one of your favorite SNL skits of all time. It could be a video short they did. It could be a parody, a commercial. I don't care. It's all a skit. So whatever you want to call a skit.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Celebrity Jeopardy, with Alex Trebek being portrayed by Will Ferrell, and then you have the various celebrities. There's been some staples of them throughout the years, where you have Sean Connery or
Daryl Hammond doing
right.
Yeah, Sean Connery was great.
Your mother Trebek. What's his who is it? What's his name? God damn it. Yeah,
That's
Norm
right.
Macdonald. There, Jesus
Norm
Christ.
Macdonald would do like the 1970s version of Burt Reynolds.
Yes.
Chewing the gum with just brilliant.
Yeah, just to me that those on any compilation you're going to have, that's going to be one of your top skits from Saturday Night Live. I love the over the top exaggeration of the celebrities, and Will Ferrell not even trying to like do Alex Trebek. He was just kind of being Alex Trebek, being just a generic talk show host. It didn't matter. All of it was fucking hilarious. I love that skit. So that's why it'll be on number one on my list.
Yeah. Enjoyed a lot of those. And the celebrities were all so purposely stupid. They had just ridiculous, negative scores that could never happen mathematically, but it was just funny. And the questions were so easy. People kept missing it. There's so many good things. So that it really evolved, like you said, to the banter with the Sean Connery and Alex Trebek, Sean Connery, just so good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about you? Who's the first on your list?
I'm going to give you another Will Ferrell, one of my favorites here. The skit name in particular, I did a few of these, but the skit name was Space, the Infinite Frontier, featuring Dr. Kent Waller. And Dr. Kent Waller was portrayed by Jeff Goldblum on this particular episode from the 90s. And the premise was hosted by Harry Carey. So Will Ferrell doing his Harry Carey impression, which was ridiculous to have Harry Carey hosting a science show.
That's where you get if the moon was made out of cheese, would you eat it? I know I would.
Yeah. You all know the moon was made out of green. It's not made out of green cheese, but it was made out of spare ribs. Would you eat it then? And Jeff Goldblum, because I guess what happened, Will Ferrell started to improv and threw Jeff Goldblum off, really. And he was just kind of like, I'm so confused. He's like, it's a simple question, doctor. A baby could answer it. If the moon was made out of spare ribs, would you eat it? He's like, yes. Oh, good. I know I would. And I'd polish it off with a nice, cool Budweiser. And he was shaking his head and everything. Man.
So funny.
Just totally unexpected. So good. And he actually did a very good impersonation of Harry Carey as well.
Yeah.
So just I love that one so much. So he did it a couple of times, but that one with Jeff Goldblum, because Jeff Goldblum was noticeably confused on the live show and just trying to go with it, and it worked perfectly. So, all right, what else you got on your list, sir?
Okay, this actually next one might be my number one, like of all time. I fucking love the Bill Brasky
Oh my God.
skits. You had Will Ferrell. It was Will Ferrell, David Koechner, Tim Meadows, and Mark McKinney, and then you'd have occasional Alec Baldwin and John Goodman on it.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those skits where they're sitting around. They've been at the bar, they've been at a funeral. Bill Brasky is one of their friends, like a salesman, businessman, friend of theirs, and they're reminiscing or telling odd stories about Bill Brasky. I pulled up some of these, like we started with Bill Brasky is a son of a bitch, and like always has that weird voice on him. Bill Brasky fathered every guy and every child in town. And one of the best parts of it was when they're going there, like Bill Brasky once showed me a video of him making love to my wife, and it was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. I think that was Cockner that did that. His poop is used as currency in Argentina. And then occasionally one of them would randomly say like a really weird truth that they did that would make everybody uncomfortable, and like it would pause the thing and then they go back into it. Like Bill Brasky sweats Gatorade. He once breastfed a flamingo back to health.
So they're totally improving and riffing. It seemed like they're
absolutely. They would just go back and forth. Each one of them would go in a row. It's kind of like the old, the jokes everybody would have about Chuck Norris.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like that. Bill Brasky is this mythical creature and larger than life. Because I once saw him scissor kick Angela Lansbury. Just weird random shit. He sheds his skin once a year. Yeah, I could go on. Bill Brasky's bits were, I think there was only like 6 or 7 of them, throughout time, and it was only like a few years that they did it. But I fucking love those skits. So Bill Brasky is definitely top of my list.
There you go. And they always show him at the end. It was some larger than life character. His head always be off camera. It was either a dummy or whatever they used for that. But yeah, ridiculous but funny, like you said.
Yeah, I'm sitting here reading some of these now. They're so fucking good. That's going to be a rabbit hole I'm going to go down sometime soon. Fucking love those skits.
Well, there's a series. One of my favorite is a skit series that they did. They had multiple ones there. Each one I thought they were all pretty funny. The one in particular was Stewart Has Cancer, but the whole series of the Californians. This was It was like a fictional soap opera of people who lived in California, and they were all just various over the top, stereotypical Californians with the accent. Everybody had blonde hair. Fred Armisen, was one of the main characters. Kristen Wiig, Bill Hader.
Yeah.
Just so good. And what made it even funnier was they would work in, I didn't realize they were actual directions. But,
absolutely.
Fred Armisen would, look up, I guess there were real directions in California, but they would always say, you got to get on the 403 and to get off of here and whatever. And it was always worked in that you got to get out of here and take this way and spit you out over there. And, to kind of speak to all the traffic and everything in California, apparently. But just every one of those was pretty damn funny. They would have some guest hosts come on and play.
Exaggerated California accent.
Yeah. And the furniture they had and just the whole vibe, it's just great.
Yeah.
So there was a commercial, I think during the 50th as well, or that reenacted the Californians. He came back and did it again. But just watch those if you want to get a laugh. Just pull up the Californians SNL on YouTube, and I think they're all out there. Or find them on SNL on streaming on Peacock. But just great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. My next one is actually more recent. And and I'm kind of cheating because the skit, I don't really remember exactly what the premise was. It was some sort of like town hall meeting, but they had Beavis and Butthead.
Yes. Right. This is recent. Yeah.
Dressed, and what makes it so funny was none of the actors seemed to like know that they were going to be dressed up and looking like that, because when they turn around to see them, everybody broke. And I think that's actually one of the more fun things to watch on Saturday Night Live is the breaking of the actors when they can't hold it in. You could go down a rabbit hole on YouTube and watch it, the actors breaking on Saturday Night Live, and they were the live versions of Beavis and Butthead. It was who's the
I'll tell you 1 second. It was Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling as
he was the host.
Beavis, yeah.
And then it was Mikey Day was the
Mikey
other guy.
Day, that's right.
He's a cast member there.
Yeah, but... and watching them turn around to see Mikey Day for the first time, what's her name just couldn't hold it together. Just couldn't even get a line out. Yeah, it was just so funny. So that was probably one of my favorite things to watch in the modern era. And
I think when the Fall Guy debuted on the red carpet, I think they both showed up in the Beavis and Butthead costume.
That's awesome.
And just kind of reenacted that to have some fun with people. And then Ryan Gosling changed later and all that. But yeah, it's pretty good. And they were just so serious. Because these guys look like Beavis and Butthead. They're just kind of like, you never heard of Beavis and Butthead? That was pretty good.
They had like the actual, I bet you could find like the Beavis and Butthead T-shirts with skulls on it, and Hard Rock, I think, was the other one.
It was, on the show, it was Metallica and AC/DC is what they were wearing on the show, on the actual MTV.
Okay.
But then when but for licensing, they probably couldn't do it. But that's what they wore on the show, though. That's what they wore on the show. But anyway, good stuff. Hilarious. And like you said, those skits are even funnier. Like you said, when someone breaks and they just can't get it under control, that just takes it to a whole other level. And then people know when they're breaking their cast member, and they just push.
They keep on,
harder and harder. Yeah.
One of the Debbie Downer was a good one for that. Watching the other Rachel Dratch breaking up their cast members, or the one in the hot tub where Will Ferrell's the professor and his wife, and they have like an open marriage or whatever, and just Will Ferrell,
Rachel Dratch,
and nobody in the fucking hot tub. They did a couple different versions of that, where Will Ferrell just is eating that up. Like that's his goal, is to ruin that fucking skit. They're fucking awesome.
The one with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore when she hosted.
That was the
Jimmy Fallon could not keep it under control.
Jimmy Fallon was horrible at keeping it together during skits. I think there's one that one of us will talk about that. We'll talk more about that.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I'll just put that out there right now. One of my favorite skits of all time. The more Cowbell skit.
Absolutely.
Will Ferrell at his best, and just what took that to a whole other level. Christopher Walken was just phenomenal. He was so good on that show. I guess he could just he could do anything. He could be comedic, but he was so good at being the serious guy in any skit. Never cracked a smile. Just the whole yelling. When he came out and said, "I got a fever," and the more Cowbell, that line is just gold. Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted your thought.
No. It was on top of that was like, I think what makes that probably the most iconic skit in Saturday Night Live history, honestly, is because it wasn't just one. You drew multiple memes from it, but like people will quote Christopher Walken, and Christopher Walken was playing the straight guy, and then you have Will Ferrell with the fucking cowbell dancing in front of in Horatio Sands' face, and he's trying to keep it together. And like we said, Jimmy Fallon couldn't keep anything together on any skit. So fuck, it was just everything about that skit was what Saturday Night Live is. You had the straight lines delivered. You had the people laughing. You had the people, meaning the actors. You had the physical comedy. Just everything about it. It honestly, I think if you did a poll, that is probably the greatest skit in Saturday Night Live history.
That's
given
way up there.
Everything about it.
Yeah, way up there. You're right. The whole premise, the premise makes so much sense too. It's just so funny because somebody just had to think of, why don't they talk about, like songs that have these cowbells, these old classic rock songs with cowbells, and you can see how it kind of materialized, that somebody wants more cowbell.
That it was like one of those 3 o'clock in the mornings where they're all sitting around tired as shit, and somebody has that song on, and they're like, "Why is there so much goddamn cowbell in this song?" And then it just kind of steamrolls from there. Like, wouldn't it be funny if he wasn't even supposed to do the cowbell? And that's it's fucking great.
The producer wanted more cowbell. That's a good premise. And then Christopher Walken just took it to that level.
All right, so the original Christopher Walken wasn't supposed to be the original actor in that skit. I guess it was originally supposed to be Norm Macdonald.
Okay.
Now, again, I don't know how well, because Christopher Walken, I think, made it iconic given the way he delivers lines, right? More cowbell, you know what I mean? Like it's a Walken-esque line. Norm would have been hilarious, but it would have been a totally different skit with Norm Macdonald. Like his delivery would have made it a way different concept. So it worked out the way it was supposed to. I love Norm Macdonald, but Christopher Walken, they had it right on that.
Yeah, the angry delivery that he could do, just take it to a whole other level.
Right. Absolutely.
Yep. Very good. Excellent. Yeah, that's a skit there too. There's certainly a lot of these. You could say the same thing here, but you see people even now at Halloween dressed up as the Will Ferrell character with the cowbell, and you know exactly what it is.
Right, absolutely.
Very
iconic.
Yeah.
You get T-shirts with him on it.
Yeah, I have a button somewhere. The more cowbell. There's a T-shirt out of as well. With him on it, stuff like that. Yeah. Very good.
My next one, Wayne's World.
Yeah. Good.
Wayne's World. Simply that. Was it the greatest sketch on Saturday Night Live? Maybe not, right? But it spawned, there's a lot of those sketches that spawn movies. That spawned a fucking classic movie. I mean, God bless Night at the Roxbury, but it didn't blow the doors off pop culture like Wayne's World did. Wayne's World was one of those movies that just hit at the right time, at the right stages.
Surprise hit. Yeah.
What's that?
Kind of a surprise hit movie.
Right. But it hit the right audience at the right time. And for that reason, I'm putting Wayne's World on my skit, SNL skit, Mt Rushmore, because of the cultural impact that it made.
Sure. Absolutely. Was there one of the Wayne's World skits that jumps out at you, or not really in particular?
I like the one where they were talking about lyrics, where they were talking about the Nirvana song. Hey, wait. We can't sing the whole thing being on YouTube, but that song from Nirvana, and he thought it said "Hey Wayne," and they freaked out and stuff, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed where they would do the lists
Mm-hmm.
of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, not the strongest skit, but it's on my list because of where it went to.
Yeah. The one when they actually had Aerosmith as the musical guest, and
Yep,
they made
good.
an appearance on Wayne's World. I thought that was pretty good. Aerosmith sitting in his breakfast nook.
Right.
They had the whole breakfast nook cam upstairs, zooming in on Aerosmith sitting up there, and then Tom Hanks was the host, I think, and he did like the sound check guy, syphilis or whatever he was saying, pretty good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, and not many of these. I mean, there's a few of these certainly, but the ones they could actually do repeat skits with the same characters,
Right.
and it didn't get old. I mean, that's the sign. It's definitely one way to recognize a true hit. So Wayne's World was definitely one of those for sure. I love every holiday season. There's certain things I like to watch in my repeat holiday viewing. To get me in the holiday spirit. One thing I enjoy typically is watching the Saturday Night Live, Christmas special, which is clips of skits throughout the years that were holiday themed. One of my favorites of all time, it's a holiday themed skit, and it's one of my favorites anyway, is the Delicious Dish skit, the public radio,
You've knocked another one off my list.
Sweaty Balls with great Alec Baldwin, Anna Gasteyer, and Molly Shannon. Just hilarious. You probably have seen it before. That they're very mild-mannered public radio hosts. He's talking about his Christmas cookies that are family named Sweaty Balls, and just the way they're describing them and talking about them. If you're listening
They have no
to
idea
it,
that they're being obscene.
Right? Just hilarious.
And they have that NPR voice, but it also is a little sexy when you're talking about balls and what you're going to do to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Do what you want to them, ladies.
Right.
My balls are here for your pleasure.
Love it. Fucking Alec Baldwin's great.
Yeah. Very, very good. One of my favorites.
All right. Last on my list, I'm going to go old school. Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm. It was, you take the premise of an iconic Mr. Rogers and put Eddie Murphy's spin on it, where he's Mr. Robinson instead of Mr. Rogers, and he's coming in from like the hood, where like you're hearing gunshots in the background and screams and stuff, and I think back then they were, they shot right out of the cannon the idea of like taking pop culture and turning it on its head. From Gumby to Mr. Rogers, the infomercial stuff that Dan Aykroyd was doing, they started that trend, and it only got bigger and better. But it starts with Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. It propelled Eddie Murphy to the stratosphere, to being Hollywood royalty and an icon. So, love that skit, and it was like almost the beginning of everything. So,
yeah. Yep, you're right. That was definitely a skit that was one of rising star Eddie Murphy's earlier featured skits for sure. Very funny in that. It was social commentary as well, a bit, right? So, but yeah, very funny. Also had a Christmas episode of the skit of the Eddie of Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood as well. Yeah. Well, I also had Celebrity Jeopardy, Dean. I want to swap that out. I was thinking there's so many good ones here.
Oh, I had to swap a couple out too. Like you took my Sweaty Balls and Harry Carey, so I had to swap some things out.
Talking about skits?
Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm teasing.
Oh.
Nah, sorry. Let's see. I'm going to swap it out with Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer. I always enjoyed these here. I don't know if you remember those or not. The hilarious Phil Hartman, the tragic to lose him too soon. So funny, but go back and watch. They did a few of these as well here, but just a great premise. Caveman he's unfrozen from ice, becomes a lawyer, which makes, of course, zero sense, but he plays up the whole, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just a caveman. Your world frightens and confuses me. I just saw a plane landing, and I thought, oh my gosh, what is this crazy thing? But one thing I do know is that my client is innocent. Whatever, he would just play it off, and then just he was a total douche, smug lawyer playing up the whole caveman bit, whatever. But just so good. Go back and watch Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer. Check those out on YouTube. Phil Hartman did one of his best roles on the show, as far as I'm concerned. They were just hilarious.
Phil Hartman was fucking
so
amazing.
Yeah.
Such tragic, so horrible. Just talking about some of the guys you missed. I mean, yeah, because you have some people out there that may have been gone too soon from drugs or even natural causes, but like the way he went out, it was just unfair, being murdered like that. It was just awful.
Yeah. But we still have his work, at least we can go back and enjoy and
absolutely
check out Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer. Any honorable mentions, Dean?
You know what? I do have one.
Go ahead.
Debbie Downer.
Mm-hmm.
We'd mentioned in When People Breaking, but that I love all those skits. And then Star Wars Undercover Boss with Adam Driver.
That's funny. That was good.
Being a Star
Kylo
Wars
Ren.
fan, yeah, Kylo Ren doing the undercover boss thing on the Death Star, and people talking about how much of how horrible he is, a douche he is, and him getting all sad and stuff. It's just so great. Adam Driver's awesome.
That was funny. A good way to make fun of himself, and it really played up the fact that Kylo Ren was kind of a whiny bitch in the movies, and it kind of took it to a whole other level. So he was able to make fun of himself, and that was good.
That's actually because everything else I had to swap out and use. So, what about you? Any honorable mentions?
A few rapid fire. Matt Foley, Living in a Van Down by the River. The great Chris Farley.
Absolutely.
The first one he did, I think it was David Spade, and I think it was Christina Applegate was on the show at the time.
Okay.
And he was breaking them, getting right in their face and yelling and hitching up his pants, and he fell and broke the table and everything, and they were just dying, laughing, and he was so funny.
Actually, let me shoot in a honorable mention if we're going to do that.
Go ahead.
The Chippendales with Patrick Swayze.
Oh, good.
And Chris Farley fighting for the last Chippendale spot on the card, and they're both dressed as Chippendales with the shirtless and tight pants, and obviously Patrick Swayze has a body of a fucking Greek god, and Chris Farley looks like Chris Farley, and it's just so goddamn funny. Yeah, Chris Farley is physical comedy best.
Chris Farley and Will Ferrell were two that knew they didn't have the greatest body, and they would use it in their humor in just the greatest ways. Just not embarrassed. Yep. If it got a laugh, Will Ferrell, of course, did it on the damn 50th anniversary with the hitched up shorts and everything, and leaning up, kneeling up and kneeling getting on guys' faces and everything. Yeah, that's just making it uncomfortable. So good. Yeah, that was a great one. I agree with you. The Haunted Elevator skit. This is David S. Pumpkins, Tom Hanks. Just a strange, weird, bizarre skit. That was the whole idea, I guess. Eddie Murphy did a great one. White Like Me. I don't know if you remember this or not, but the premise was he dressed up like, they actually did his makeup. He dressed up like a white man and went out in the public, and he's just describing his experience of being a white man, just hilarious. His
Absolutely.
perspective. A guy like hands him a newspaper. He's like, pick up. He's like, what? You can take it. You can take it. And he's just like, I learned something that day. When white people are alone together, they give each other things for free. They honored this in the concert as well. Dick in a Box. So this is
Sure.
on the concert on the Friday. Lady Gaga helped sing a duet of Dick in the Box. It's very good. Close Encounter. They also reprised this as a version of this on the Kate McKinnon. When people get abducted by aliens or something like that. So her and Meryl Streep reprised those roles.
So those skits, yeah, that's a good one. Those are so goddamn funny.
Kate McKinnon is hilarious. Just the whole description of
that's another one where watching they did everybody held it together pretty good on the 50th, but all the other skits, go back and watch those.
Yeah,
that you got a lot of those actors breaking because of her.
Yeah, just grabbing them and doing all kinds of things they weren't really expecting and everything on. Yeah, very good. Spelling Bee. I saw this on TikTok even the other day, and I had to go back and watch it again. This is Will Forte with a cameo by Jack Black and Tenacious D.
Yeah.
And Will Forte is playing a kid in a spelling bee, and Chris Parnell was always so good. He was such a great straight man in the skits as well. And he asked him to spell business, and he's like, "Can you use it as a sentence? Can you give me the definition?" Gives him all these things. And then he misspells it so terribly, ridiculously long. Just, like he had a complete panic meltdown. Gets it completely wrong. And he was spelling the word.
Right.
I want to say for like 60 seconds on purpose. It was like way, way out there.
I don't recall that one. I have to go back and look at it.
Yeah. And then Chris Parnell's like, wrong. And then Jack Black, Tenacious D sings a song about spelling bee, that it was a true story about Jack Black as a kid. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's just a very strange, bizarre skit. Go check that out.
Okay.
Goat Boy. I don't know if you remember Goat Boy or not. This was I can't think of his name all of a sudden here, but just the guy was half goat, and they brought him. It was a scientific experiment.
Yeah.
Jim Brewer, that's what it was. Jim Brewer,
of course, yes.
And they created him to host an MTV thing, which was funny, an MTV show, and he would just grunt like a goat every so often, and had the just ridiculous.
Another one is Mr. Peeps. Chris Kattan is Mr.
Peepers. Mr. Peepers.
Yeah, where he's like a little
monkey man.
Monkey. And then the one
the apple
was when they had The Rock be his like brother or cousin or whatever. So they had both of them.
That's right.
Standing up on the table doing the Mr. Peepers thing.
Yeah. Eating the apple and spitting it out at people. Yeah, that was funny. Beyonce Hot Ones. So this was Maya Rudolph playing Beyonce, which she's very funny at. But she was on the show. The skit is that she was appearing on the show Hot Ones with eating the very hot wings.
Yeah.
She's hilarious. But she plays just so good. But she's like trying to be the reserve Beyonce, eating these hot wings, and just starts to lose control. Just watch it later. You'll love it. And then finally, Colonel Angus. So the Southern Colonel Angus. And Colonel Angus is also played by the great Christopher Walken. And Chris Parnell was in the skit as well. So Southerners talking about Colonel Angus. So when they're talking in their Southern drawl, it's Colonel Angus, Colonel Angus, Colonel Angus, and they have and they portray on that. Colonel Angus is he's an acquired taste. It's just so many innuendos and jokes. Oh my God.
I kind of remember that actually.
Yeah. Hilarious. I rewatched that even this evening, making a list here. I'm like, I don't know if I remember this or not. I'm like, oh yes, I remember this. I had to put it out there for honorable mention. So many more you could name.
Absolutely. For 50
So,
years of it. I mean, geez.
yeah, absolutely. So, uh, what makes a good skit? Why are these? Why are these? Some of these? There's different reasons, I'm sure, but
Sure.
what makes a good skit in your opinion?
Uh, I think to me it's the dichotomy of the straight man and the goof.
Mm.
I think if you're going to find a lot of these skits that we've talked about, it is given you have the Chris Parnell, so to speak, and then you have the Will Ferrell, the goof, uh, and the better, some of the better of the actors, comedians can play both in random skits, can play the best straight man or the goof. But I think that is what makes the best skits is the dichotomy of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love, like I said, I love when actors break, but I wouldn't want to see it all the time. That it kind of makes it special when it's randomly. But yeah, I want to see the straight man and the goof. That comedy is the surprise. It's looking to the left and they go right.
Right.
It is, and I think Saturday Night Live has mastered that perfectly, of the of that comedic style.
Mm. Yeah, no, that's good. You're right. When you have those skits where someone is just, you could see it just playing out, like they're just in the zone right now. They are in
Right.
they're in a comedy acting zone, whether it be the lines, the physical comedy, the combination of both. They're fully, maybe not even fully aware, but there's just something completely working in that moment between their facial expressions, their physical comedy, their line delivery, and like you said, the people around them just play it perfectly with them, even rising to the occasion to be even, I don't even want to say even more straight or more serious or whatever their role is. So just, you see it just kind of happening
It's almost
and creating. You can see, you're right. You see they're creating, this is a memorable moment. You can see that
Right.
they're in it, and you have to believe that as they're in the middle of it, they're like, they have to have like, this is really vibing right now, man. It's just, they just go with it.
Well,
You're right.
It's like if you have a ballet going on, and the one of the and it's working out beautifully, and it's masterful moves, and everything was working as it should, and then you have one person do a move that nobody else was expecting, and that is the improv. When you're working on something, and you can tell by the other actors, even if it's just like a quick eye glance of like, oh shit, that wasn't supposed to be there, but it works. So everybody just kind of goes in that rhythm, from there.
That's good. It's just, you're right. It's just creating a moment, it's creating an experience, and something where all these skits we talked about here, I could watch them. I don't know how many, like a favorite movie.
Absolutely.
And it just doesn't get old, because there's something in there that makes me laugh and you could even pick up on different things the more that you watch it, somebody's reaction or something that somebody did that maybe you didn't quite get before, or you missed something in the background even. Yeah, it's just that moment they were able to create together.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, many great memories, many great skits. Yeah, you know what? One thing that you can do to create your own great memories, out on the trails, trails of life, trails around your hometown, whatever you want to do. If you want to get out there and explore, create some of your own new memories and favorite memories, get yourself an electric bike. Get yourself an electric bike from our friends at RPM Bike Shop. You can find them on Facebook, online, or simply just give them a call at 330-808-7792 and just tell them you want to create your own memories to live on for the next 50 years and beyond.
That's a long time.
It is a long time. Well, you
It's
don't
a
have to
long
pedal
time.
as much. You know what I mean? If
That's
you
true.
be an older person and get on the trail still, you need that electric bike. You know, give yourself a
Conserve
nice
your
boost.
energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we
Well,
have done it. And so go
Brian,
ahead, please. Please.
what we need to do real quick is tell us what you learned. And I take a pause there because I'm hoping we inject some music in there, but maybe some crickets. I don't know. But Brian, what have we learned today? I tell you, one of the things I learned today.
Go ahead.
We are all a little more sad when we are Nickless.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Yes, that is true. I learned a couple of things. One is that a possum can't eat a whole chocolate cake without getting a little bit sick.
I learned that I can. So.
Yep. And that what qualities make up a good SNL skit, a memorable skit, a favorite skit. It can vary. It just depends on the skit and whatever you define as what good is. I think the ones that we named here certainly had different qualities between just great comedic performance and straight person to people breaking during the skit, which made it even funnier.
Yep.
Just different qualities create a memorable and favorite skit on SNL. And certainly they've had many over the years that we've enjoyed, and I'm sure there'll be many more to come.
And finally, I learned that there is no better dog name than Cock.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I learned.
Sure. Well, in honor of Nick, we're going to wrap it up here. We'll do his job yet again here. So
That's right.
We again thank you for tuning in this week. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Find us on our YouTube channel. Find us on our Linktree page. Find us online, convincingidiots.wordpress.com. Come back to us every week. It's not like this show's this show's not unlike an SNL memorable skit where sometimes I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm going to have to edit this out.
No. You actually are correct. The show is a lot like a Saturday Night Live skit because either you have comedy gold or you realize, oh shit, this should have been left on the cutting room floor.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, come back again next week. And have we convinced you that our bodies are better than Will Ferrell's?
No, probably not.
Hey, did you like that video? You know you did, and we know you did. So stop screwing around and go like that video, subscribe to our channel, and join us for some more.